Alright everybody, in today's video we are going to be going over 3 exercises for knee pain, specifically if you have hyperextended knees. So I'm Cade, I'm the owner of Cade Fit, where we do regular semi-private personal training, hypnosis, and we actually do posture alignment to help people get rid of chronic pain. Now the cool thing is I don't actually work with pain specifically, I work with the posture. The great news is that by changing your posture, your body will change its position, your body's going to help heal itself, and the pain goes away. And so I don't treat pain, I treat posture. Alright? So, with that being said, these exercises were actually for a specific person I was working with yesterday who was having knee pain because her knee would keep hyperextending, where, as you can see, my knee here goes back further than just straight up and down like that. It goes here. That was what her knee was doing, and she was having knee pain from that. And so each body is different. Your compensations, what your body's doing, may be different than someone else's. So that's why we do the posture analysis with each person that comes in and every session that someone comes in, because your body's constantly changing. If you'd like a free posture analysis, go over to cadefit.com/posture and you can book a free posture analysis with us, either in the studio or virtual, because we can do it over Zoom. All right, so for this specific person I was working with, like I said, her knee was going back, hyperextended. She was doing things for the lower leg initially, for the hamstrings, trying to get that body part to work the way it was supposed to. But the reason it wasn't working is that her hip flexors were shut off. So a hyperextended knee, where like this, is typically the quads are doing the walking instead of that hip flexor. So her knee would go back because the hip isn't actually supporting it. So in those 3 exercises today, we're actually going to address that hip flexor in a bent knee position. There are exercises for a straight leg hip flexor, the muscle right here, but for her it's not a good fit because her knees are already straight. She would just use her quads instead of getting that hip flexor action. So first exercise I had her do though is what's called sitting abductor press. So I had her sitting in a chair. Now, because the knee is going to be bent, it's more likely to be in that hip flexor position. They're going to engage, and the hip flexor is a muscle that runs from the lumbar spine down into the femur. It's actually the only muscle that goes from the spine through to the lower leg. Everything else either attaches rib to hip or lower leg to hip. It's the only muscle that actually crosses both. So for this exercise here, you want to have your toes nice and straight, feet position do matter. Strap that is not yoga strap works great, about 4 inches apart. You're going to roll your hips so that there's a nice little arch in your lower back, not so much that you're here or that you're extended there. You want to just roll till you feel the crease of your hip working, and then you're going to just gently push out against the strap for about a second and relax. You want to go slow and equal to train that balance in the body so both sides are working again. So she did this 60 times and then relaxed. So that would be a good one to start with, although it's not directly the hip flexor. As you use the outsides of your hip, it's going to help encourage that hip flexor to support you upright. One of the reasons I had that for her is her knees actually came in, what's called valgus, which helps so we strengthen the outside of the hip so it's in a better position for that hip flexor to engage for her. The next exercise I had her do is a modified child's pose. I actually used this one the other day for someone who had some breathing challenges. This helped to open up her ribs. But for yesterday, how you do this exercise, ankle bones touching, knees touching, and then you lay on the floor, hips up, so you don't want to actually sit all the way back down. In this hip up position, you're going to put your head down, hands about fist distance apart, and you're going to gently push the elbows into the floor. As you do that, pressing that elbow into the ground, it's going to help the shoulders to set on the rib cage better. And as you breathe, you want to breathe. Imagine your breath is going left and right across your body. It's going to help adjust the spine. And as you do that, those deep breaths in this deep hip flexion position is going to help encourage hip flexors to kick in that. You hold that deep breaths nice and relaxed for about 3 minutes. By the end of that, she stood up and she's like, oh, everything's holding itself upright. Immediately, her body supporting it, it felt better. And so those 2 were the first ones we did. And then we finished it up with what's called hero's pose. If anything you do is actually causing pain during the exercise, you might be going too hard, you might not quite be doing it right, or it might not be a good exercise for you. So because we don't treat pain, we don't actually do any exercises that hurt during them. We take them out and find the ones that your body's ready for, so that your body can respond, get stronger in what it already has. Eventually it's going to progress and get even better. So for that one, the hero's pose is you put back on your heels, gently rolling hips to get the lumbar or your low back to actually do some work here. And this bent knee position helps to stretch the muscles front and actually compress some of the muscles in the back to open them up a little bit. And it's going to encourage that bent knee position. So she just hung out here for a bit, which is a bit was actually a minute, and then she did overhead extension for a minute. This is a bonus, not included in the 3 exercises. All right, so those are the 3 exercises I had her do, and it immediately made a difference in that moment where her pain wasn't there and her body was supporting herself. So the 3 exercises were the sitting abductor presses, putting out against the strap, the child's pose elevated with your deep diaphragm breathing, and hero's pose, bonus hero's pose overhead extension. Those 3 made a huge change for her, and she started feeling better. So try those out for yourself. As always, make sure you're feeling good, feeling strong as you do it. If it hurts at all, please stop doing it. If you're having trouble with it, like I said, cadefit.com/posture. We'll do a free analysis, figure out what your body is specifically doing. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. If you know somebody that this could benefit, please share it so they can find it, try it out for themselves, and start feeling better. But thank you for watching. I'll talk again soon.